Hello everybody, welcome to the very first episode of Gupshup with Garima. This is a heart-to-heart talk show where we will be talking to some really interesting people and letting them tickle us and inspire us. And it's my promise that we will make this as candid as possible so that you can see under the hood. You can see the person under all the labels. And it gives me great pleasure, and in fact it's my honor to introduce our first guest, Dr. Gaurav.
I think the honor is all mine. It's a real big honor to be the first guest on this Gupshup with Garima show, and I hope this show goes a long way and it really connects with everybody, with you, with me, and all the people, and get the labels off.
Thank you. And in the spirit of this open-heartedness, I wanted you to share with our viewers how you would normally introduce yourself.
So I am a pediatrician. I am a child specialist doctor, and I think honestly, ये वाला label जो है, ये वाला निकालने में time लगेगा. But beyond that, I love doing lots of other things, which includes things like podcasting and things like having a YouTube channel for parent education. इसके अलावा, I like traveling, I like reading. I am a person who loves to be interacting with different types of people and getting to know different facets about how life goes. So curious, always agnostic, and also a person who likes to laugh a lot. That would probably define me.
How wonderful. That is also the reason why you have been welcomed as our first guest. And a few things about you. Dr. Gaurav has been representing his field of pediatrics in a lot of conferences, nationally as well as internationally. He has been a speaker and presenter in a lot of reputable organizations and events. He is also a very famous podcaster, and his podcast is called Your Personal Child Specialist. I would highly recommend that after you listen to us, you should go and subscribe to that podcast if you are a parent, because he's answering questions around parenting, which we desperately need a pediatrician to tell us that things are fine, and we need a pediatrician to tell us when we should rush into the emergency. So these are a few things that, and he is also a foremost expert in travel health. So that's another part that he does. He is I have a rapid fire round for you so that we can see more about you, the person. Are you good with that?
I hope so.
There is no hamper afterwards, unfortunately, like Karan Johar can afford. But here are your questions. Tea or coffee?
Coffee, of course.
Blue or pink?
I think I carry blue better.
That's a cool t-shirt. Favorite actress?
It keeps on changing. Right now, it would be... Right now, there's not too many actresses. But Anushka, maybe?
Oh, interesting. And your favorite part about being a dad?
Wow. It's just, looking at the daughter when she is sleeping, actually, to be honest. It's really fun. Right now, she's already doing some sort of a middle activity.
Favorite song?
Song?
Yes.
Don't worry, be happy.
Cool. Would you sing a line for us?
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now.
Yay, thank you. And now a change of scene. What's your worst nightmare?
Worst nightmare? I honestly don't spend a lot of time thinking about this, but I don't like dark constricted spaces. So getting stuck in one of those places is probably something which I'm scared about. And of course, I keep on imagining that I had some exams and I hadn't studied, or I was late for the exam or stuff like that. So school time events, those are the things which I keep on sometimes worrying about. Not very frequently though.
That's interesting to note. I would have thought with all the education behind you, DCH, DMB, you would be quite cool with academic pressure.
It never goes away, don't worry.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. If I had a hamper, it would be yours. So now...
It's the thought that counts.
I was hoping so. I was hoping for that. Could you tell us during these times as a travel health specialist, if there were any safety recommendations or something, just guide us how we can travel safely, because we're all now getting cabin fever, children, parents, we're craving to go out.
Okay, so for starters, don't go out. I would have to start with that. I still think we are coming to the peak of the epidemic, and honestly, I wouldn't want any of my and your viewers to actually get into this trouble because of having cabin fever. I completely understand where you are coming from. As I said, I love traveling too, and I wish I was able to travel. My birthday is coming pretty soon, and I wanted to travel desperately, but unfortunately, Corona is not letting me do that. So maybe next month, let's see. But so that is the first thing I would advise. You have been cautious for so much time. थोड़ा सा और धीरज रखिए. Maybe by October the peak would be crossed, and maybe by 2021 start we'll have a vaccine or better protection. So that's the first thing I will say. Don't travel for cabin fever. But let us say you have to travel for whatever reasons. There are a few things that will definitely help. The first set of things is SMS, which is social distancing, mask and sanitizer. I know हम सब थक गए हैं सुन के, but honestly, at the end of the day, this is how it all begins. अगर ये नहीं करेंगे तो बाकी चीजों का कोई फायदा नहीं है. Carry lots of sanitizers, carry disposable wipes. All of this is important. You can have a plastic thing to put all the trash in, so that जो आपने contaminated है, if you can't throw it into a trash can, put it in that. So that's the first most important thing. Carry extra set of masks, change them every 8 hours, and if you get the masks wet, again you need to change them. This is important as far as masks is concerned. And social distancing is absolutely necessary whenever you're having your pit stops and you're trying to have food to eat, or you're trying to get fuel in your car, etc. तो ये चीजें बहुत important हैं. Social distancing करना भी बहुत जरूरी है. So I think this is how we begin, and this is the first set of recommendations that I always say you must follow. अब थोड़े से advanced recommendation पे भी आ जाते हैं, since we are looking at it. Try to do digital payments. I would recommend कि जहाँ पे आप Paytm कर सकते हैं या फोन पे कर सकते हैं. आजकल luckily many of our dhabas and eateries have this option. So cash जब आप exchange करते हैं तो chances of overnight transmission are much more, and you cannot easily wipe the note also. But if you're using a credit card, or if you're just using phone pay, Paytm, then wiping it off or just using your phone is a very good way. आरोग्य सेतु app, because that might give you an idea जिस एरिया में आप जा रहे हैं वहाँ पे कितना कोविड है, because it picks up the location, it helps, it uses the Bluetooth to see how many people around you may have COVID also. And in India this is a little less practical, but अगर आप ग्रुप में ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं जहाँ पे you don't know everybody for whatever reason, or they're not immediate family, rolling the windows down if it is possible will help reduce the chances of COVID transmission. Finally, if you're going on a घूमने फिरने जा रहे हैं तो try and look for something like a bed and breakfast or like joint जहाँ पे आपको बिल्कुल भी ज़्यादा लोग ना हो. Don't go to a commercial area, don't go to a hotel kind of a situation, because chances of COVID being there is much higher. If you're going to eat food also, try to use drive-thrus rather than जहाँ पे आपको बहुत देर बैठना पड़ता है. अगर बैठना भी हो तो try to sit outside rather than air-conditioned inside area में, if that is possible. And most importantly, please don't travel अगर आप बीमार हो. So if you're unwell, just wait for a few days. You owe it to yourself, and then you owe it to everybody else also. I hope that's as comprehensive as we get.
That was wonderful. So I guess it's time to reconsider Diwali plans of meeting or going to our native place, etc. As per your recommendation, even Christmas holidays should be given a miss, and we should wait at least until January to start with, and then some really very smart and succinct points that you have shared with us that should be really helpful for those who need to do business travel. So then you shared that you are an outdoorsy kind of person. So, and it's been 6 months of a lockdown. Why don't you tell us how you have been spending your time? Maybe we'll find some inspiration and make our days less boring even though we are home.
Yeah, so हम लोग doctors हैं. Doctors are all famous that we are so much work oriented. So initially, obviously, when everything was in lockdown, it was a big shock because आप जिंदगी में कभी सोचते नहीं हो, especially in private practice, that you ever will have time when you will be doing weeks and months of absolutely nothing. You know, you just don't imagine. Even after retirement, you don't imagine doing that because you just keep on thinking, काम करेंगे. So it was tough, and it is still tough because we are still not back to the peak workload which we used to have previously. So here's what I did, and lots of it is funny and unintentionally so. So घर में शुरू में मेड नहीं थी तो कुकिंग में हेल्प करनी पड़ी. सो वाइफ जिस दिन तबीयत ठीक नहीं है, सो यू हैव टू हेल्प हिम विद द कुकिंग. सो आई हैड टू पुट तड़का, दाल में तड़का. नाउ दैट मे साउंड वेरी इजी टू ऑल द फेयर सेक्स इन द ग्रुप, बट ऑनेस्टली मुझे नहीं आइडिया था. तो आई डिड द तड़का इन पानी. You can imagine how the dal turned out that day, and we couldn't even order.
Thank God for Maggie.
Thank God for Maggie, absolutely. So that was one of my earlier adventures with cooking, though I did learn a little bit more afterwards. And talking about the kitchen, we have been big fans of coffee, real coffee addicts. We could not bear to live without our coffee shop. हमारा coffee shop barista was closed and we couldn't go there. And even nowadays, we don't feel very comfortable कि अंदर जाके बैठें. कॉफी का मजा तो तभी है जब आप कॉफी शॉप पे बैठे हुए in a cafe, right? So we have managed to buy a coffee machine after a couple of months, and we are really enjoying making lots of coffees. And with coffee, we decided to become healthier. तो हमने सोचा कि चलो let's try almond milk, थोड़ा सा vegan type कुछ बनाते हैं. And we have become such big fans of almond milk. And my wife, being so generous and she thinks a lot, so she said, look, you really love your coffee, you really love your almond milk, so why don't you take the responsibility of making it? So
yes, we wish such kindness upon all wives so that all husbands will appreciate the intention behind getting you to do more work.
Yes, so I'm really good with making almond milk, and just to put a shameless plug, मैंने अपना एक almond milk बनाने वाला वीडियो भी डाला हुआ है, and you can probably search it with my name, Dr Gaurav Gupta, how to make almond milk. It's there on YouTube, and it's got a fair amount of views as well. So you know, if you want to make good almond milk, you know whom to contact.
And we know that even if you stir a spoon, you will make a video about it and let everybody know that you stirred a spoon today.
Yes, I will do that. Okay, beyond that, we also did something very interesting, which was go to the roof. You honestly never do that when you are doing your daily routines. Subah, sham, clinic jana, clinic aana, you're just too tired to go out. And you had absolutely nothing to do. Cabin fever to bahut zyada tha, especially for the first couple of months. And in the evening, we decided to go to the roof. We had really awesome views. We could actually, because of the lack of pollution, we were able to see. I'm based out of Chandigarh, so we were able to see the snow ranges of Himalayas, which never are able to see otherwise. So it was really beautiful. And because everybody was on the rooftops in the evening, we all were having a good socializing at a distance. So we were playing badminton, and people were playing with volleyball and stuff like that. And we were comparing our games कि हम कितना अच्छा बैडमिंटन खेल रहे हैं और जो दूसरी रूफ पे खेल रहे हैं वो कितना अच्छा बैडमिंटन खेल रहे हैं. So that was fun, and we actually found out how beautiful the roof was. कितना ज़्यादा खूबसूरत था, with such beautiful views of trees and birds and mountains. So much so कि मैंने अपने कई सारे videos और अपना podcast के कई सारे episodes roof पे shoot किए हैं, and I have actually said that in my episodes. So वाटर टैंक के ऊपर कैमरा रखा, कान में ईयरफोन लगाए, एंड चलो भाई हो गई शूटिंग शुरू. So thanks to Modi ji, because we had to go and clang all the bartan and put all the diyas. That gave us some very good ideas about what to do with our lockdown.
Oh, how wonderful. Yes, I guess it's time for all of us to start exploring our own home and our own space a little bit more. Maybe there are some corners which are underutilized, which we can look at.
Absolutely. Physical activity is a challenge during lockdown, right? I think you would agree with us in that. सबके साथ. So उसके लिए हमने क्या किया? One was that I had an online guy who was helping me out. और जिंदगी में पहली बार I actually started lifting weights, and I started doing burpees and push-ups and stuff like that using online WhatsApp video calls. And if I have your permission, I would like to show my fantastic abs, because I've really got really fantastic, not abs, sorry, my biceps. Abs are not fantastic, sorry. So I can show you my fantastic biceps.
Oops, but go for it.
Yes. So I've never had this kind of biceps in my life ever.
Woo.
Right? This is basically because of lockdown. I must thank again COVID and our government for helping me build my biceps and my 56-inch ki chhati also.
Yes, we live in Chandigarh when you say the 56-inch ki chhati.
Absolutely. So that is something which I really enjoyed. And finally, once the lockdown was eased out, I have gone into cycling, because that is a good way to reduce your cabin fever. You can really go around 10, 20, 30 kilometers, and we are in a suburb, so slightly edge of town, so you can go on to and see the fields, and you can cycle to areas which are relatively unexplored. And I've managed to find some very, very nice locations, because we had this, I didn't even know, just 12 kilometers from here we have a small Haveli type of fort, and I was able to find it because I was cycling to unexplored areas. Other cyclists had put this forward on one of our WhatsApp groups, and I managed to go there. Very, very fascinating experience, and I'm sure I couldn't do it if I wasn't in a partial lockdown and my workload wasn't very, very less. So lots and lots of fascinating things. It is something that kept me busy and engaged, even though definitely it is tough times for everybody, and we're all getting cabin fever.
So true. But yes, this is truly inspiring that there are activities like going for cycling and just slowing down. And I think one more thing I'm picking up from you is to stay connected with like-minded people, like-minded enthusiasts and hobbyists, so that you are inspiring each other, giving each other ideas and making it nicer. So that, and I also believe that you did some e-learning. There was some online course that you've completed on public.
Yes, we did. I did a course on public speaking, soft skill course, and also something on the role of religion and peace and war kind of a thing. It's a lot of fun. You connect with thousands of people from across the globe and in an online community. So everybody has a very different viewpoint about things, and then you share your. So we did a presentation wherein everybody shared their YouTube videos of how they had actually learned presentations, how to do presentations. So it was really a lot of fun, because you get to see people from all across the world. You just can't imagine that you would be interacting and giving tips and taking tips from people in Africa, from US, and from people somewhere in Australia. Dunya bhar ke log jo the, they were giving each other tips and suggestions on how to do public speaking. There was a very interesting course on Egyptology about ancient mummies, which my wife did, and I saw parts of it too. So you really can pursue weird and slightly esoteric interests as well.
That sounds wonderful as well. So I'm also a parenting expert, so I'm sure that there are a few people watching who would like to know if you have anything to share about your joys and challenges around being a dad during this time.
Okay, so first let's start with the challenges, the frustration. I'm pretty frustrated right now, because my daughter has been interrupting me left, right, and center. And you have seen this before we just started the program. Luckily, she's not doing it right now. But it is frustrating because we're all stuck in the same house, and she is a really, really active 10, 11-year-old child. So it's tough for her. and I understand that, but सबके सब साथ में है, so it can become frustrating sometimes. So it is challenging. You have to keep her busy, especially in the house, which can be tough. On the good side, I managed to cycle on a regular basis, morning and evenings, something which I never thought would be possible, because honestly, we were working 6 days a week and Sunday was the only day off. So we had so many plans, right? From sleeping to getting the almiras right to finishing off the other household chores. So kabhi cycling to hardly hota tha ki zyada der kar paye. And now we are cycling regularly with each other. Movies. My daughter never used to like movies. And in this lockdown, we were able, with a lot of help from Poonam, my wife, that we were able to get her into the habit of watching a few movies. I know it sounds paradoxical, but trust me, if you have a child who does not watch any screen, after a certain point of time, it becomes too much, because you have to keep them busy in other things. Screen time, agar bacha bahut zyada kare, that's a problem. Agar zero kare, I can tell you, even that can be a problem. So we have started a whole series of Harry Potter movies. We finished the entire series of 8 movies in around 15 days, 2-2 ghante ki movies. And now we are on to the reading the illustrated books and even hearing the audiobooks. So she is a bit obsessive about these things. Jo usko pasand aata hai, then she keeps on doing the same thing. But it's a lot of fun, because you are learning so many facets about her, which I would honestly not have probably gotten to share and learn if it wasn't for having a slower pace of life because of the lockdown.
Oh my God, I have such similar experience around parenting that I find that I'm much more in touch with certain aspects of the children, much more than I was earlier. And I've also realized that they are much better in tune with me. So if they are able to sense that mom is about to blow her lid off, and they are able to rush in and do what needs to be done to cool down the situation, which was absent earlier. So yes, very true.
Yeah, there's just a slight difference. In my case, my daughter makes sure that you first blow the cool. पहले अच्छे से बंदे को दुखी करो, and then she will say, अच्छा भी हो गया ना, चलो, now everybody is fine. So she likes to do it in a slightly different way, her own style.
Interesting. Yeah, but my kids are chicken, they're very scared of me losing my cool. Dr. Gaurav, one more thing. I've heard that you are going to be part of a TV show. Please tell us about that.
Okay, thanks for the plugins, Garima. I think you have helped me a lot with my podcast, and you haven't talked about my YouTube channel, but that's okay. I can tell it about it. My Charak Clinics. I have a YouTube channel also, again, for parent education, called Charak Clinics, CHARAK Clinics. Coming to the TV show, we had a wonderful session yesterday. Maria Goretti was the host. It's a show called 9 Months, and it's a show which they label as Coffee with Karan for mothers. So they normally shoot it in Mumbai in a very hi-fi, glitzy studio. But this time, because of lockdown, they were doing an online session, and we had 4 parents. The others were all influencers, moms, bloggers, etc. And I was the chief expert pediatrician doctor. We talked about toddler nutrition, and this show is going to be live. This show is going to be there in Woot channel sometime in October, I guess. It's the 5th season of the show, and I'm proud to be a part of that show as well. Thanks.
That's fantastic. We keep an eye out for it on Woot 9 Months, season 5. Definitely, Dr. Gaurav. I'm ready to wrap up our conversation, but before I let you go, there's one thing I wanted to do, which is to sing happy birthday for you, because it's your birthday tomorrow.
Yay!
How old will you be?
Oh, I can easily say that. I'm going to be 48.
All right. Still this side of half century mark. So yeah.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gaurav. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I will remember you when I cut the cake tomorrow. Absolutely.
I guess that's the best that I can hope for.
Where's my hamper? You haven't sent me my hamper, so that's all you get.
Keep looking out for a parcel from Amazon. And in case you've ordered something, it'll come.
Absolutely. It was a lovely conversation. I hope we have been able to explore the non-doctory as well as the doctory part of me in this particular show. I really enjoyed talking to you, Garima.
It was really fun talking to you, and I really thank you for your openness and for sharing wonderful tips, all while giving us some really good tickles. So thank you, all of you viewers, for joining us for Gupshup with Garima. This is the Guruvar Gupshup with Garima. So look out for one new episode with one new guest every Thursday at 9 p.m. Bye-bye. Thank you, and see you again next Thursday.